Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today, we have another Marvel show for you today. This is another Netflix show, and it is the last show, I believe, the last show before the Defenders, which is basically like the Avengers, but in the Netflix Marvel series. So we're introduced with a new character, Danny Rand, and I was really disappointed in this show, so let's go ahead and jump right into talking about Iron Fist, Season 1. Iron Fist Season 1 came out in 2017. That's right, we're in 2017 now. We're really kicking it off. We're really going places. Only 3 years left until we're fully caught up. Really good stuff. We're still not going to be done until like September because there's so many seasons of shows. I've already watched almost everything, so that's really good. I just have a couple more seasons of some shows to go, and I'll be fully caught up in total. But today we're talking about Iron Fist Season 1, and so let me give you some time frame as to when I watched this. So I watched this the week before my first semester of college. I watched the first half of it. And then when I got to college, I was busy as hell, and I didn't have any time to do anything. So, like, for a month, I had to take a break, and I didn't watch it. This is before I started the channel. I started the channel, and then I continued watching Iron Fist, because I needed to make sure I finished it before I reviewed it. So, Iron Fist Season 1, essentially, for those of you who don't know what the Iron Fist is, it's this guy who crashes on a plane with his family, and all his family dies. And he goes to this mystical place called Kunlun. And there he learns and trains and learns all these fighting styles. And he is able to take on a dragon. And if he kills the dragon, he gets the spirit of the dragon. And then he can glow up his fist, which makes it super strong and like impossible to cut and hit and stuff. And then he's supposed to use that power to defend Kunlun. And he is the sworn enemy of the Hand, which we've seen the Hand in like every season of every show so far, except I didn't really talk about it much in Jessica Jones or Luke Cage, but it's a big deal in Daredevil, specifically Daredevil Season 2. And really, Iron Fist Season 1 is just a prelude to the Defenders, where the Hand is the big deal. So, I'm really upset with this. So for the first, 5 episodes of the 13-episode series, he shows up and he's trying to take his company back, Hand Industries. I don't think it's Hand Industries, it's Hand something. No, not Hand, sorry, Rand. I'm dumb. He's trying to take Rand back. But he's got Joy and Ward, who are like siblings to him when he was younger. And they don't think it's him because they believe he died 15 years ago. And he spends the entire, first 5 episodes of the show just, talking them into believing it's him. And it's, the most annoying 5 episodes of my life. They're so long, and he is so not good at what he does, and it's so boring. I had no fun in the first few episodes. And then he meets Colleen, who is, this really nice dojo owner, and she believes in him, and, they work together a bit. And then, of course, there's the whole, villain where it's Harold and Bakuto, and who is the villain here? Who is in the Hand? And how do we stop the Hand? The second half of the season was, pretty okay. I actually really enjoyed it. I loved the ending of the season. And the second season was really good, too. I'm really excited to talk about that. But this first season was a mess. Let's talk about the acting first, because I think I'm going to be able to talk about characters more when I talk about the acting. So, we have Finn Jones as Danny Rand. So, Finn Jones is really good in this show. I don't think he was as good in the beginning as he was in the end. Particularly in Season 2, he's even better. And his accent's really weird, and he talks like this all the time. Or he just whispers all the time. And it's I got really annoyed. And by the time the second season happens, he kind of stops doing that. But the first season, it's so annoying. I don't understand why that had to happen. I hated it. And it was so annoying. It made me genuinely not want to care for Danny Rand. In terms of fighting style, he's good. I think he probably does most of his stunts. It's generally pretty good. I enjoyed the fighting in the film, or the show, when there was fighting, which wasn't very often until like the very end of the show. Overall, I think Finn Jones is okay. I also do wish that they cast a Chinese person like the comics does. But, of course, we're whitewashing everything, so it's so dumb. But whatever. I think he was okay. I think he was okay for the part, and I was really happy to see him in The Defenders, as well as Season 2 of his own show. We have Jessica Henwick as Colleen Wing. I think Colleen is a more fun character and a more dynamic character than the Iron Fist himself. I really enjoyed Colleen in this season and the second season. She is a dojo teacher who basically tells him not to fight for no reason, but then also goes to fights to win money, to pay for the dojo, and lets her anger out, and she's really, really good at fighting. So it's really, really fun to see that, and then they team up together to stop the hand, because Colleen was once in the hand, and then she realizes that the hand is bad. Which isn't really important, I guess, for the first season. It's important because of their relationship with Bakuto, but we'll get there. But in the second season, it's more important, I think, in a backwards kind of way. It's interesting. I enjoyed Colleen in general, and I really enjoyed the performance by Jessica Henwick. Next, we have Jessica Stroop, who plays Joy Meacham. Joy Meacham is one of my favorite characters in the first season, one of my least favorite characters in the second season. So she is part owner of Rand Enterprises. It's Rand Enterprises. I don't know why I didn't know that. But Rand Enterprises, and so she's in charge of a lot of the things, and she's very businesslike, and she cares a lot about her business, and she also believes that Danny is Danny more than most other people. So it's nice that we have at least someone who kind of believes it, but like the rest of them just, no, they refuse to believe it. It's really, really, really annoying. But I think her performance was really solid, and I like the character a lot in this season, particularly later in the season when they kind of work together. I think she's a really good actress, and I really hope I get to see her in other stuff because I enjoyed her in this show. David Wenham as Harold Meacham. Harold is the father, and he was said to have died of cancer years and years ago. But what they didn't know is that he was cured by the hand, and basically he made a deal with the hand where they heal him, and he gets to live in the penthouse by himself so that no one knows about him, and he basically takes care of all the financial issues and all that stuff that the hand needs. The only person that knows about him is Ward, who is his son. And I'll get there in a second. That's not really important yet. Excuse me. But I enjoyed Harold a lot, particularly because he's like menacing. He reminded me of like a really good Green Goblin almost. And he's fun to watch to a certain extent. I enjoyed him by the end of the season. But then he kept coming back to life a couple times, and it really was not my favorite. But in general, not a bad character. A pretty good performance by David Wenham, and I enjoyed watching him on screen. Next, Tom Pelphrey as Ward Meacham. Ward Meacham is my favorite character in this season and the second season, and I believe would have been my favorite in the third season as well if we got one, which apparently we don't. But I loved Ward a lot. Ward owns Rand Enterprises. He owns the majority of it, and he knew about Harold, who was his father, is alive. So he has to like keep it secret from his sister, and he really wants to tell her, but he doesn't know how, and it would hurt her, and it's a big mess. And then he starts getting addicted to drugs because he's so nervous and upset about like not being able to tell anybody. And of course, his father's an asshole to him because he can do whatever he wants to Ward, and Ward won't be able to do anything about it. Really, really solid performance by Tom Pelphrey. I hope I get to see him other stuff. I know I will. Ward Meacham is just the most dynamic character in the show, and I really enjoy him on screen, and I have so much fun. Even in the second season, he's the only character that's like really good in both seasons, in my opinion, like all the way through. I enjoyed the character a lot. I want more Ward. I enjoyed a lot. Ramon Rodriguez as Bakuto. So Bakuto's technically the villain because he's the leader of the hand at the time, and all Danny Rand really has to do is just fight him, and he wins, basically. It's complicated. It's a kind of it's like an anticlimactic ending, but what are you going to do? Overall, not a bad performance. I just didn't really care for the character very much because he was introduced in the last few episodes and then was the main villain for some reason. But generally, a pretty good performance, and I enjoyed the performance by Ramon Rodriguez. So that's the show. You should check it out if you want. It's on Netflix. If you're watching along with me in terms of order of MCU, it is next on the list after whatever it was that I reviewed last Wednesday. And overall, I enjoyed the second half of the season. The first half of the season was a very big drag, and I really kind of hated it a lot. And a lot of the characters just didn't quite make sense until the second season. So for the first season, I might have to give it a C-. But that's Iron Fist Season 1. Season 2 won't come out until, probably July. I think my review for that will come out in, July. But overall, I enjoy the MCU, and this is just a small deviat in it, and I can't wait to go back into some more good stuff starting next week with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Well, that's going to do it for me today. Stay tuned for the rest of the week. We have Foxcatcher tomorrow, and Friday we have The Social Network. So make sure you guys are tuning into that. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. It really helps me out a lot. We are getting places. At the time of filming, I'm at 67. I'm hoping to get to 70 by the time this is uploaded. But thank you guys so much. And as always, keep watching movies and television. Stay educated. And I'll see you guys in the next video.